Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, hey, hey. I got a little ride back to the house, so let's have a little chat. Let's have a little chat. Hey, Beatrice. I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes, not even a few minutes, just like maybe a couple seconds to a minute to get on here and see that I'm live so we can have this discussion. Good morning, Zena. Hi. I'm not gonna get my Starbucks yet. I'm gonna get my Starbucks after I get this last kid on the bus. What's up, Dee Dee? Hey, hey. All right, so quite a few people are upset, and that's understood. I mean, not everybody is going to agree on everything. I mean, if everybody agreed on everything in the world, then would we have all the issues in the world that we have? No. So it's very, very typical to have a topic with many differences of opinions. And that's okay. That's what it's for. That's what a discussion is. For multiple people who have a difference of opinion to talk about it. I just don't want you guys to bash someone or come down on someone because their opinion or their views may be different than yours. Which is why I'm okay with making these topics and posting certain topics, because if we don't talk about these things, then, now, we don't talk about it now, meaning when the thought is there, when there will never be a right time. There's never going to be a right time. So it's all about just ceasing that moment and just doing it. I wanted to talk about the topic of breastfeeding because this is the new thing that's going to get the most focus. You guys may not realize this because a lot of you guys are on the outside looking in. You're not HIV positive, so you're on the outside looking in. I'm on the inside, so I am seeing what's taking place in the HIV and AIDS community. And we've got through, people not dying every day in the 80s and 90s. We now have many, many medications that people can take. People are able to have children and have partners that are negative and remain negative. So all of these advances that have taken place because it's something that was talked about and discussed and determined that, hey, we need to work on X, we need to work on Y, we need to work on Z. And so this is getting ready to be something that is going to get lots of attention because, believe it or not, mothers who are HIV positive want to be able to breastfeed their babies. What do we always preach? You always hear nutritionists tell pregnant mothers, mom's milk is best. Remember back then, when that was WIC's logo? If you guys don't know what WIC is, that's a program here in the United States. It's called Women, Infant, and Children. And I know everything about this program because my mother worked for this program for 15 and a half years until she had to retire for health reasons. So I am very, very knowledgeable of the WIC program. That was their slogan for years. Mom's milk is best. And so, to have a mother who's HIV positive, and granted, you have to understand, a lot of people who get diagnosed with HIV have no educational knowledge of this virus prior to getting the diagnosis. Some of them only know the basic stuff. Oh, this is something Magic Johnson has. Oh, this is something Arthur Ashe died from. They don't really know the ins and outs of this virus until it's literally presented to them in the worst way ever, and that is them getting a diagnosis unexpectedly. And so when it comes time for them to want to do things that they haven't done before, have a child, have a partner or a spouse, do all these things, now is where the real education comes in of them understanding and finding out, okay, if you want to have a child, here are the pros and the cons of doing that. And that is the same thing that is happening when it comes to those who are wanting to have a child and also wanting to breastfeed. Here are the pros and the cons of breastfeeding. The con is your child very, very likely could contract this virus. The pro is that it works out perfectly fine and your child remains negative. Now, the issue with it here in the United States, the biggest issue is it has not been addressed on the scale as other things have been addressed. We know that if we take a certain medication and you're negative, that medication can keep you negative if you encounter a partner who's positive. This was done through trials. So when it comes to breastfeeding, I think the controversy with breastfeeding is this something that you want to risk, with a baby, an innocent child? I mean, because you're risking someone becoming HIV positive by doing trials to see if this medicine is going to work and keep them negative. So there's a risk there. There's always a risk in every trial. But I think the biggest controversy about should this be something we do or not is because it is an infant, it is a baby just fresh in the world, has no choice of anything at that point. That baby can't say, no, I don't want this milk. I mean, yes, they can refuse to, grab onto the nipple and not be okay with breastfeeding as a baby, but they logically can't say, no, I don't want to put myself at risk. They can't do that. It's up to the mother. And so I think that is the biggest issue that a lot of people have, and that's probably why so many of you are saying, no, I wouldn't risk it. No, mothers shouldn't risk it if they know they're HIV positive. I hope you guys go back and look at the comments, because there is a comment that was left by an amazing mom who is HIV positive, who did choose to breastfeed her child, and her child is still negative. And she plans to breastfeed future children. And I did ask her a couple other questions, because these are things that not only myself and others may not know or don't know, which is, okay, what measures did the doctor take with you wanting to choose this process? Did they do frequent labs? Did the lab regimen stay the same? Did you only breastfeed for a certain period of time? So I want you guys to come into this topic with an open mind to receive information from others who, like this young lady, actually did it, and her child is negative. You don't want to just automatically come into it with a closed mind and I said what I said, mentality, because at the end of the day, yes, you said what you said, but education is going to always be available to you. That's what it's all about. It's all about the education, and it's all about bringing the awareness, and it's all about ending the stigma. If we don't talk about these things that are considered quote-unquote controversial, we're not really going to end the stigma, are we? I can sit here and tell you guys all day about HIV and AIDS, how to use condoms, how to have safe sex, what it means to be undetectable, how the virus is transmitted, all this stuff. I can tell you this all day, every day. But what about the topics that we really need to talk about? the topics that are considered taboo in this fight. Breastfeeding is one of those topics that is very controversial, because as of right now in the United States of America, it is being recommended by any physician. I have not found one. There may be a handful out there, but I have not personally found any physician that will say, yes, breastfeed. The thing right now is breast milk can transmit the HIV virus from mom to baby, which is why I just wish that it would happen to where something, I feel like we really need to know if this is something mothers can do. But it's one of those things too where in my head I'm like, I don't know if I want that risk to be put on an infant. So it's so hard, but I would really, really like to know if a mother is undetectable, remains undetectable, is under doctor's care, the baby is consistently being monitored. Can this effectively happen? Not just one time or a couple times, but can this effectively happen more than 90% of the time? This is what really needs to happen. But again, it's just going to always be an issue because of who this is risking. It's risking an infant's, health status. So it's just one of those things, at some point I feel like society will just have to, and that's me included because of how I feel about it too. Society at some point will really probably just have to accept the fact that the only way we're gonna know this is if it just happens, and if they just do it and it happens. And I feel like if it turns to a situation where babies are becoming diagnosed more than not, then I think that would definitely say, okay, well, yeah, we don't want to do this. But I know it has to actually happen. It's just that, who really wants something like that to happen? But it does have to happen because that's the only way we're going to know. That's how we know everything else in this world. You see now, they have been testing the COVID vaccines on children and infants less than 12 years old. That's being a risk too. That's a risk too. And just like this situation with breastfeeding, there are parents and people who are protesting to not allow them to do vaccine trials on infants and children. So I feel like it's going to be that same way. We're going to have parents and mothers who are going to say, no, we don't want this trial to happen for breastfeeding. But it honestly, it really does have to happen for us to really know. Because just knowing about a handful of people it happening to is not going to work. We need to know how this will affect and what the outcome will be on a wider scale. But as always, you guys, I thank you for participating in my discussions when I post them. I did have to remove a few comments, not a lot. I just want you guys to always be respectful of others' opinions and thoughts. Because, even me, I don't know everything. None of us know everything. So when we're sharing our thoughts and opinions, we may be helping someone else who could be confused, and your thought or your opinion could remove that confusion from them. Okay? So please just continue to have great discussions, keep everything positive and moving in a forward light. And I'm just excited to see how this is going to play out and how things are going to go, because again, like I said, this is something that is a very controversial topic, but it's a topic that needs to be discussed. And we're going to discuss more controversial topics. Don't think this is where it stops. This is only where it's beginning. I thought long and hard about it. I seriously did, you guys. I've been debating for a couple days if I should take this conversation outside of the group onto the open page, because this was a question that was brought up in my private exclusive group. Someone wanted to know, can mothers who are HIV positive breastfeed? And so many people were saying no, 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 no. And I was saying no as well, but then I was looking at it from every aspect. I'm looking at it from the aspect of, okay, we can say no, but also we know that if someone's undetectable, they can't transmit the virus, because that's what we're saying. That is something that we are putting out there. The CDC has now backed this and said U equals U. So it's like, so what about U equals U when it comes to breastfeeding? Can a mother who's breastfeeding and undetectable breastfeed? Like, these are questions because of what is being presented to us. So it's, you know, it has to be discussed. And I thank you guys for discussing it with me. As always, you guys, it is the weekend now. It's Friday. Look, what does my shirt say? Finally. It is finally Friday. And I cannot wait to enjoy this weekend. I am going to sleep all weekend. So thank you guys for listening to this video, sharing everything that you guys always share, and being engaging. Thank you guys so much. I am at my destination, and it was a pleasure talking to you all this morning. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk soon. Bye.